Welcome, chess YouTubers. You are clicking on the very first Chess Kid Insta lesson because this game just finished about 30 seconds ago. By the time you're watching this, it might be a few days past, but this is how to convert winning endgame advantages. And today's teacher is Grandmaster Anish Giri. That's right, he's not just good at tweeting, he's pretty good at chess. And here he's got the extra bishop, but how does he convert with only seconds left on his clock? Well, the first thing he does after his opponent plays the move g4 is he fixes his opponent's pawns on light squares. That's going to make it easier to attack them with the light square bishop. Now, white's king drops back, and black has to be a little bit careful that white doesn't start trading off pawns. Now, the first thing is to sidestep the king. That's just kind of a do-nothing move, make it the other person's turn. Notice white can't push right now, because after check, the king has to move backward, and then pawn takes pawn guards the rook. So white is not trading pawns. White would be losing pawns in that scenario. White played the move rook to c3, and now it's actually possible that white will start trading pawns. And the rule in chess is that when you're ahead material, keep pawns on the board, trade pieces, not pawns. You want some pawns because you need to make promotions at the end of the game. So black plays rook f6, clearly stopping any sort of pawn trade. It should be noted that if all the pawns leave the board, rook and bishop versus rook is a draw with best play. Although, if you're the side with the bishop, you should at least play it out. You do have some good winning chances. Okay, so white just kind of wastes time. White's trying to set up a fortress, and the bishop goes after the pawn. Now, when the rook moves over, this is actually the first chance that Anish has of trading into a king and pawn endgame. But you never want to trade in a king and pawn endgame unless you're 200% sure you're winning. Why risk your extra bishop advantage? And in fact, here, it's not a win, because after rook takes, bishop takes, king over, in this position, white can even lose the opposition and make a draw. For example, if white's king moves here, technically black has the opposition, but when white's king moves to this square, black can't even use the opposition. Black has to move here, and then when white goes back, white's about to invade, so the black king has to stop that. In short, it's just not a winning king and pawn endgame. And when you're a super grandmaster, you know this stuff so fast, you can do all this analysis in like half a second. So let's go back to this position, and black calmly moves the bishop back, rook c3. Now, I was watching this game live, and I was kind of wondering, what is black going to do? Black actually has everything guarded, so one idea is just to motor the king, like literally all the way around. Get the king in the game, and then when the rook gives way, march the king in, and then do some damage. But Anish finds a way to win even more quickly. After king f7, rook e3, he wastes a move, king moves to g2, and actually, there's a difference with the king on g2 versus g3, which Anish found in like 0.1 seconds. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. He played rook takes f3. It's actually important that he takes with the rook, because after rook takes, instead of taking this rook, he has one free move to get his king in, and he needs that free move. For example, if he takes the rook right away, when white's king takes back and he approaches with his king, then white gets the opposition and black cannot win. In fact, if black goes this way, white could even try to march in. Actually, that would be a mistake because black will get some counterplay with this pawn. But white can move back. And then when black moves in, white gets the opposition, and this is actually a draw. There's no way for black to make progress. So we need to go back. Anish noticed he can gain one tempo here by not taking the rook. The rook's in a pin. He played king e6, and that makes all the difference in the world, because after king to f2, now when he takes the rook and the king takes, king e5 would be a big mistake because white would get the opposition. We just saw that. But instead, he plays king to d5. You can see the white flag went up because both players knew the theory of diagonal opposition. I'm not even sure why you call it a theory. It's pretty much known. The diagonal opposition wins the game because you always convert diagonal opposition into regular opposition. When white's king moves sideways, then black converts to the regular opposition, and then when white moves to the left, black's king would actually advance up the board, shoulder the white king out of the way, he would march in and he would win this pawn. If you don't know all about long opposition, diagonal opposition, regular opposition, and all of those transitions to winning endgames, we've got a ton of videos on Chess Kid dealing with the subject. There you go. That's your very first Chess Kid Insta lesson.